I'm in a somewhat unique position of teaching in a field that developed in a very different socio-cultural context, for a different student cohort, and for a very different purpose. My objective has been to distill from classical studies of Islam the most essential skills and knowledge, relate this to contemporary ideas, issues and events, and convey this to students through the perspectives and approaches of the various relevant disciplines within the humanities and social sciences. In my particular field, it is pivotal for student learning outcomes to go beyond the classroom, into the field, and that students experience the people, places and issues they study firsthand. That Griffith is committed to maintaining this balance is for me both a source of pride and fortune. Again, thank you for bestowing on me this incredible honour, and kind regards.
My National Teaching Award for High Impact Strategies really validates the work that I've been doing and that Griffith does, particularly for those students who struggle. I think it's really important to ensure that they're on track, that they feel supported and more importantly rewarded for them to actually engage in what they're doing and to get through their studies. Students really need to develop problem-solving skills, but to develop these skills they need the courage and they need the capability to be able to engage with some of the really sensitive issues that they have to deal with. I'd really like my students to leave the program knowing that they had the confidence and that they had the courage to be able to make those difficult decisions.
I teach a course called World History, and one of the great virtues of that course, I think, for students is that it encourages them to think about current affairs from a long-term perspective. And in that way it kind of mitigates the culture of short-termism, which is characteristic, I think, in public life, makes them, again, very valuable critical thinkers in their own right. My primary goal for all of my students is to help them feel empowered to make a positive contribution in the world. And I think history does this in a very deep and profound way. It does so because history teaches us that things were organised differently in the past, and therefore they will be organised differently in the future. And students therefore can see themselves as participating in the positive change of the future that they're creating.
I have a background as an educator. It's my first degree, an education degree. So I love teaching, and I always have. I love being in the classroom. I love that moment when somebody sees something that they've never thought of before. I love a bit of a shtick that I use in the graduate certificate, which is the mystery guest. I love the anticipation that the students feel. They never know who it's going to be. There's a lot of theatre and a bit of drama around that kind of stuff. Yeah, my curriculum design priorities in the graduate certificate in policy analysis have always been around the theme of something you'll never learn in a textbook. So we work with students who are, for the most part, working in government already, and they have, they're looking to move to the next level. And we don't have any trouble with student engagement because they really are very switched on to thinking about their profession and having an opportunity for reflective practice.
So my approach is based on this concept of purposeful design across the curriculum. So that's the integration of all of the teaching and learning activities, resources and assessment in a way which leads to or generates more engagement in the entire curriculum. Seeing that package of activities and resources as a cogent set, a set of tools, if you like, to assist in engaging the students in their learning for their own benefit. Beyond my work in the Griffith Business School, I've also sought to bring together a national academic community around this field. We've done that through what we call the Financial Planning Academics Forum, which is a group of around about 80 or so academics now nationally involved in the teaching and research of personal finance and financial planning, who meet regularly with the professional bodies, with the regulators and with other industry stakeholders to facilitate and drive that discussion and collaboration between the education sector and the industry.
My major contribution to the discipline is through my research in one-to-one learning and teaching, which is considered to be the cornerstone of performance training in tertiary music institutions. What's exciting about our work is that it's having implications well beyond the tertiary sector. For example, in pre-music education, the need for professional development, transparency, deprivatisation of practice is equally strong. By providing instrumental and vocal teachers with the professional skills they need to enhance their practice, We're advancing and promoting teaching and learning in this area in higher music education institutions generally.
Jem has made an enormous and sustained contribution to pedagogy at the Conservatorium, from initiating and developing pedagogy as a core part of our curriculum, through to her program directorship of our largest and most complex program, the Bachelor of Music, and then more recently focusing on the one-to-one aspects and developing the scholarship of one-to-one, and to a certain extent also assessment through her OLT grants.
This citation is as much about recognition of the quality teams and the quality people that I've been fortunate enough and privileged enough to lead over the years. One of the things we need to do in Queensland and across Australia is to inspire our kids to post-compulsory studies in science, technology, engineering and maths. We're better to get the enterprise skills that are going to be so valuable and so favoured by employers. And we need to do that not so much for an economic imperative for the country, but it's just good for the kids. It will future-proof them for the 21st century. And if I've been able to inspire kids to take on science at post-compulsory school level or at the tertiary level from underprivileged or underrepresented groups as well. That's been a real passion of mine.
Go Health, Go Griffith is a suite of programs and courses. The key impact that I try to have with students in their learning is that they can do it. They're not alone and they can do it. They are capable. It's not science and health and medicine is not just for everybody else, it can be for them. So my key impact is to increase their confidence and their self-belief.
Studying the Griffith Biology course has helped me develop my confidence, so it wasn't so harsh in like going straight from school into uni.
The value of Go Health, Go Griffiths to the students is that they get knowledge of university before they get there. When they go to university, the students are really well prepared, and some of my students have done exceptionally well.
The community internship course is designed in such a way that we are given this amazing knowledge that isn't just rote learning and regurgitating it for an exam or an assignment. We're given this knowledge that we can then take out into the real world, whether it's locally or internationally.
We've designed the course to be intentional about transformation. So while the student's doing the internship, it's not just the hours that they spend on the internship, but they have coursework that helps them to reflect on what their role is as a citizen and what their responsibilities are.
Instead of it being a one-way instructional journey from us to them, it was clear that there was a two-way street, and we were there to learn just as much as to teach.
I think it's something that's been missing in higher education, that we look not just at the vocationalisation aspects, which we've become very good at, but we look at who the student is inside and allow them to blossom as well.
The students in the courses that I teach have come from a range of different backgrounds with different ambitions, and so hopefully the critical thinking skills and other problem-solving skills that we provide them in my courses will help them in whichever discipline they decide to pursue once they graduate from university. One strategy that I use in my teaching is to build relationships with my students, then find out from them what they require, and then I can tailor my course to provide them with the skills they need. The biggest joy I get from teaching is really seeing my students perform well, and then particularly after they graduate, going on to do bigger and better things.
I think students appreciate authenticity in teaching, and not just the teacher themselves, but in all aspects of your teaching. An example of an authentic experience that I've introduced into my course is the hot seat method of teaching students the physiotherapy patient interview, which involves the students working in small groups and interviewing a simulated patient. And that's a really active and authentic experience, and they can see the relevance of that to their future practice. The thing I really enjoy about teaching is watching my students transition through that first year of the Master of Physiotherapy program. I spend a lot of time with students in practical classes over 10 hours a week, and we form really close partnerships, and watching them learn and grow as students and becoming capable and competent physiotherapy graduates is really satisfying for me.
I have been teaching for the last 10 years at both undergraduate level and postgraduate level on multiple levels, online, on campus and mixed mode. The emergence of digital technologies in educational environment has helped tremendously delivering finance, which is an applied mathematics course. Even students coming from history background or teaching background or health background have enjoyed finance so much that have mentioned, "You have made me like numbers."
I think the thing that the students most appreciate is that I take the time to try to get to know them and that I am available for them as much as they think that they need. They also appreciate my professional experience in schools and my pedagogical knowledge around teaching mathematics. Part of teaching at a university means that your pedagogical decisions are research informed. So being involved with colleagues at other universities, being involved in research that I'm doing in schools myself, means that my teaching and my decisions about teaching are informed, certainly my instincts around teaching as well, but they're informed by contemporary research. A large part of my success as a teacher goes to the students that I teach, who are learning to be teachers themselves. So they give me an enormous enthusiasm and enormous pride and confidence that teacher education going forward is in great hands.